Today's Monday, the 11th of September, and yesterday I had one of my best long runs to date. These are some of the tips that I've learned through this process of the last marathon and this marathon right now. And I just wanted to share them with you so then you could get past the walls and just have a better long run in general. All right, we got a long run, 36 Ks. What's the course? Gardeners Creek Trail, 18 kilometers one way and then back. Easy. So we're doing that, changing up our fuel source too, trying Morden's. We got 5 of them, 5 to 6. You got 6? Yeah, 6. Yeah, 6. We'll see how that goes. We've been using SIS. I'll let you know how we go. Let's go. So tip number 1 is having the proper fuel. So when I talk about fueling your long runs, it all starts a day prior to the actual long run itself. For me, the pre-long run fuel, the day prior, I want to know that I'm having adequate amount of carbs the day prior. So then I'm gonna be storing all this glycogen inside my muscles. So then the next day I could actually utilize it. So a lot of my meals consist of a lot of rice. I am Asian. So, you know, it's just easy for me to get in. But I know for others, pasta, bread, pizzas, all that type of stuff, they like to do that the day prior and that works for them. Pre-run, so this is about like 2 hours prior to the run. I like to have overnight oats and 600 mils of water with electrolytes in it, 2 scoops of Gatorade or Staminade. For me, this has worked for the longest time, but as of late, literally this Sunday that just passed, I got really sick of it. So for me, I'm gonna change my Sunday, pre-Sunday long run meal to potentially crumpets, thank you Chris and Liz for showing me that, or raisin toast or something along the lines. I still need to figure that out. If you guys have any suggestions, please put that down below. Third, intra-run fuel. So during the run, if we're going for a run longer than an hour and 30 minutes, I like to have gels on me so then I could constantly keep topping up the fuel and carbs within my body so then I can just keep going. So for the longest time, for this whole entire prep, we've been using SIS gels, and just this past run that just went, we tried out Morden's and they worked out really, really well for us. We'll be most likely changing to that just because it's just a little bit more accessible. They seem to be sponsoring all the events, so it's just gonna be easier to get. So number 2, eliminate annoyances. What I mean by that is that you have to have the right gear. So the right shoes, the right clothes, the right hat even. All these things play a part. For me, when I started, I was using a lot of Nike shoes. And as much as I love Nike as a brand, the shoes didn't love me. They were causing blisters, causing injuries, all these type of things because they just weren't the right fit for my feet. So I went for Hoka's, Clifton 9s, but the size wide E. And that changed everything for me because I didn't have to worry about like, oh my God, my feet are gonna get blisters this run, or, you know, like it's just gonna be annoying, it's like toe bash the front of it. So for me, it's like finding the right shoes is probably one of the most important things of this whole entire just running journey in general. So I would highly recommend going somewhere where they could really size your feet, see how it fits, and find the right shoe for you, because all you want to really worry about is just running, right? You don't want to deal with anything else other than that. Number 2 is chafing. So I usually get some chafing in my underarms, my lat, and my arms start to chafe like that, and I start to get thigh chafing as well. So the way that I mitigated that was wearing shorts, tights, and I started to, if I'm wearing a singlet, I'm gonna have anti-friction balm and I put that on my lats, so then it wouldn't create that chafing, because by the end of it, it's gonna be quite painful and you don't wanna deal with that at the later stages of the run. So you just kind of want to deal with that prior to it. All right guys, we're 18 kilometers in. Feeling fresh, feeling good. Good conversations. We're getting it in. Let's go, how you feel, Chris? Feeling good, legs are feeling good. The morning gels, I think they're sitting with me pretty well. Could be the new gels. Let's fucking go, new gels baby. Morden, sponsor. So number 3, run with friends. this makes the time pass so fast because you guys can chit chat and talk about life and different perspectives, things that you've learned, how you got through these runs. I genuinely feel like after every long run that I do with someone, I learn something new about myself, about them, about life, and it's just a really enjoyable moment. You guys are both going through a journey together. You know, you're showing to yourself and you're giving yourself the evidence that you could really do hard things. So running with friends is just a great overall hack and tip. So tip number 4, the last tip, is to retrain your mindset. If you've watched the recent video about the Burnley Half Marathon, you would have seen how much it's really affected my mindset and I guess what I'm expecting from Melbourne Marathon. Because the long runs emulate the marathon, it's a good chance for yourself to really mentally prepare yourself for what's to come. Because the Burnley Half Marathon caused me to feel that way, I knew I needed to fix how I think about the last leg of the runs. So for me, I knew that I had a weakness of not finishing strong. So this time around with the long run that we did on the Saturday, I kept that in mind. I try to be conscious of my mindset through the end of that run and really just think about enjoy this pain, savor it. You work so hard to get here. This is where you grow. This is where the real work starts. Because everything prior to 22 Ks within the long run was easy. Like me and Chris were flying, our legs felt good, like life was good. And post that, we really started to feel our hips, our legs, our breathing, everything, anything that you could think of, we really started to feel it. So this was the time for me to retrain that mindset, to really flip it in my mind and let myself know, hey, this is the moment to train it. This is the moment that you could rewire everything in your mind so then we could be as best prepared for Melbourne Marathon as much as possible. 36 Ks in the books, baby. Good work, bros. Good job. You only need to figure out some small tweaks to get you there. Like for me, I had always finished the long runs, but this time around, we finished it strong. So it feels really good and it feels very encouraging because literally last week, I had some huge doubts in general about the Melbourne Marathon. So if you guys are going through it right now, you're going through the hardship of this Melbourne Marathon prep or marathon prep in general, just know that you're just missing a few things. You know, you're missing a few mindset hacks or fueling hacks or just little things that need to be added to your toolbox for you to feel as prepared for your marathon coming up. But to summarize everything, number 1, have the right amount of fuel. Number 2, eliminate all annoyances. Number 3, try to run with a friend on these long runs. And number 4, retrain your mindset. But that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. But please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go and let's get it. If I didn't press record, I would be so fucking mad. Oh. Ouch.